What is going on, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're breaking down the week 5 schedule for fantasy hockey. We're going to be going over the teams with the best schedules and the worst schedules, and also the best streamers to add for this week. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. First off, I got to give a shout out to Drafters Fantasy Sports. If you guys like gambling and you want to do pick'ems for the NFL, NHL, and more, you can go sign up using promo code FIREDUP. And when depositing a minimum of $20, it will match it 100% up to $100, guys. It's a great deal, so if you guys want to do that, feel free. The link is in the description. And next, we are going to talk about some new ads that weren't in my previous must-add video. The first player I want to talk about is Marco Rossi of the Minnesota Wild, and this guy just got moved up to the first line and the first line power play. He's getting a ton of ice time. Playing on those lines with Kirill Kaprizov means that he is probably going to put up a lot of points. He's a young player with a lot of potential, so make sure you add this guy. The second player I want to talk about is defenseman Erik Gustafsson of the New York Rangers. Adam Fox just went down with an injury. He got moved to the LTIR, so Gustafsson is going to take his place on the first line power play. The Rangers have a fantastic power play, so Gustafsson is going to rack up a lot of points. This is a short-term ad because Adam Fox is not expected to miss more than 4 weeks. We don't know the exact timeline with Fox yet, but it's worth taking a look at Erik Gustafsson, especially if you need a defenseman. Next up, we have a brand new segment. This is teams that play the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks just let in 10 goals against in back-to-back games, so you are going to want to stream players against the Sharks. Make sure you take a look at the players on these teams when they face the Sharks because they have a very good chance of putting up a ton of fantasy points. Next up, for the teams with the most games and off nights, we have the best team in terms of maximizing your games, being the Florida Panthers. They play 4 games this week and all of them are off nights, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And they have a great opponent goals against average as well. So you're going to want to add players from the Panthers. Then we have the Leafs, who have 3 off nights and 4 games. So they play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. They should rack up a lot of fantasy points and help you maximize your games as well. Then we have a tier break, teams that play 4 games and 2 off nights. The Canucks, the Dallas Stars, the Minnesota Wild, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. You might have some roster spots open on Tuesday. And if that's the case, then the Minnesota Wild have 3 off nights this week. So make sure you check your schedule. Then we have the Ducks, who play 3 games but have 2 off nights. Again, Tuesday could be an off night for you. So maybe that's 3 off nights. Ducks have a good opponent goals against average as well. So those players could be a good option. Then we have the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have 4 games and only 1 off night. Good opponent goals against average. The Capitals have 3 games and 2 off nights, but not the best opponent goals against average. Then we have the Montreal Canadiens, 4 games and 1 off night, but their opponent goals against average is pretty tough, so they might have trouble scoring goals. And finally, we have the San Jose Sharks. Yes, they have 4 games and 2 off nights, but I am not rushing to pick up any Sharks players with the way that they are playing. Maybe you could take a look at them in a deep league, but personally, I'm not going to. Moving on, we have the teams with the least amount of games this week. We have 3 teams this week that only play 2 games, which is not ideal for maximizing your schedule. You might have to make some tough drops, but it just depends on how good the player is. We have the Chicago Blackhawks, the New Jersey Devils, and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights do have 2 off nights this week, which is decent, and they have a good opponent goals against average, so it could be worth holding on to some Vegas players this week, but still, 2 games isn't the best. Moving on, I just want to highlight some Panthers players that could be great streams for this week. Like I said, the Panthers have a great schedule for maximizing your games. We have Evan Rodriguez, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Anton Lundell, Gustav Forsling, and Eetu Listerainen. All these players are under 85% rostered, so if there's any other Florida Panthers that are sitting on your waiver wire in a more shallow league, I suggest you take a look at them as well. Then the second best option for maximizing your games this week are adding Leafs players. 4 games and 3 off nights. We have Matthew Nyes, who has been moved up to the top line with Austin Matthews and Mitchell Marner. He could put up some points this week. We have Tyler Bertuzzi, no longer on that first line, but I still think he should be putting up some points. He's pretty due, guys, so I expect him to put up some points this week. We have Calle Jarnkrok. He could put up some points. John Klingberg, who is getting some power play time. I know he's looked horrible out there defensively, but I think there's a good chance he puts up points. Next up, we have some Minnesota Wild players. They don't have the best opponent goals against average, but they play 4 games and 2 off nights, and Tuesday could be an off night for you. We have 3 players on this list. Marco Rossi, I told you guys to add him long term because he's on the first line and the first line power play, but he's also a great stream for this week. Then we have Matt Zuccarello, Ryan Hartman, and Marcus Johansson. Zuccarello and Hartman are not on the first line power play, but they can still put up decent points, and then Marcus Johansson is on the first line power play, so that could be a good option option as well. Next up, we have some Ducks players. 3 games and 2 off nights. Like I said, Tuesday could be an off night for you as well, so check your schedule. And they also have a very good opponent goals against average. They play the Sharks in one of these games, so yeah, some of these guys could be great streams for this week. They've been on fire. Troy Terry, Frank Vetrano, Mason McTavish, Trevor Zegras, who I think is due to put up some points, Ryan Strome, Pavel Mityukov, and Leo Carlson. Next up, we have some players on teams that have 4 games and 2 off nights, playing Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. These are Dallas Stars players, Columbus Blue Jackets players, and Vancouver Canucks players. These are all players that are under 85% rostered, so if there's any players above this roster percentage, then make sure you check that out as well. But I think a lot of these guys have the potential to put up good points this week, so check them out for maximizing your schedule. Then we have some players from the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens. Both of these teams play 4 games and have 1 off night this week, so it could be good for maximizing your schedule. If you have a light schedule and you can fit these guys into your lineup, then I suggest you take a look at them. Next up, we have some Capitals players. They play Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Wednesday and Friday being the off nights, so if you want, you can pick them up on Wednesday and drop them Saturday to maximize your games. All right, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one.